Newcastle Fans TV, Newcastle United are going to be third for at least 6 weeks for the World Cup break after they've just beaten Chelsea by 1-0. Me, Fordy, Ramsey, Harry and Sam are all living in a Willock wonderland after this fantastic win this afternoon. We're here to score the players for Newcastle United 1, Chelsea 0. Oh, it was a fantastic battling performance. You can hear the bottles in the background because we've been drinking all day. No, we haven't.
We haven't. Some of us are very hungover.
Some. There has been loads of games in the Premier League, so if you have missed, I'll quickly go for the results and then we'll go to scoring the players. So Manchester City were beaten at home by Brentford. Can you believe it? Ivan Toney. He's not going to the World Cup. Exactly. He's not going to the World Cup, but he is scoring 2 goals at the Etihad. Incredible.
That was a bit unnecessary, to be honest.
Bournemouth have beaten Everton twice in a week, once in the Carabao Cup, once in the Premier League, a 3-0 win for Gary O'Neill's side. Liverpool, 3-1 winners over Southampton. Nottingham Forest, a 1-0 win over Crystal Palace. Morgan Gibbs-White with the goal. Tottenham 4, Leeds 3, a 7-goal thriller. West Ham 0, Leicester 2, Maddison with a goal, but Maddison with an injury. Let's see, hopefully he's okay. At the minute, at half-time, Wolves 0, Arsenal 0. If Arsenal drop points, are Newcastle United in the title race? Oh, I'll take
Is
that.
this match of the day? Or?
I'll take that. But most importantly, it has finished Newcastle United 1, Chelsea 0. Good evening to everybody in the comments. Good evening to a panel. We've got like a panel now. Haven't even got guests. We've got a panel. Mr. Muller, it's lovely to see you. We spent the weekend together.
Yeah.
Not in that way. But
a bit in that. No.
I'm going to let you start with Nick Pope. Didn't have a lot to do. Another clean sheet. Good save from Conor Gallagher.
Very good save. And no, you're right. He didn't have a lot to do, but when called upon, he was more than up to the task. I'm giving him an 8. Commanded his area well. All right, Conor Gallagher kind of telegraphed his shot, which may have given him a yard of anticipation, but it was a very good save at a time where the game was in the balance. And he's just England's #1 in every way, shape and form.
Obviously, we can't watch the 3 o'clock kickoffs, but Jordan Pickford's made 2 errors this afternoon. So questions could be asked in the goalkeeping position.
And the answer is Nick Pope.
Exactly. 8 out of 10 for Nick Pope. Make sure you get your scores throughout the show as well. Let's move into the defence. Back 4. Dan Burn, left back, Harry. I think, to be honest with you, he seems so comfortable, but I think if Raheem Sterling was playing for Chelsea, it might have been a bit more of a test, but I don't think he was really tested at all today.
Yeah, I think it was definitely more of a challenge for him when Ziyech came on. Luckily, he moved into centre-back, but I think he looked comfortable. Yeah, looked comfortable going forward, getting the ball from the inside. I like the way he turned. He turned with emphasis today. I think he was comfortable on the ball. He wasn't really overly tested. Probably give him, I don't think he was any worse than Pope. I'd probably give him an 8 as well. I don't want to be too high, but...
I love the fight. I've just seen it on Newcastle Fans TV Twitter page, Sam, where...
Like... He's 6'7", big gruff Geordie. I mean, who was it? Kai Havertz.
Yeah, he's a right.
You're not going to win.
Weapon.
No contest.
Yeah. There's a no.
He even said last season, Dan Burn 6'7". What am I supposed to do?
Exactly.
And now he's starting aggro with him.
Honestly, he's probably the most well-known 6'7". What you doing? Who's that in the background? I can hear Steve. I can always hear Steve. Got people behind listening to the watch along. Make sure you give the watch along a good view as well with Willock's goal. Steve was going mental when Joe Willock put that goal in. We'll talk about that in a second. Ramsey, if you can tell us in the mic, how good was Sven Botman? He's my man of the match personally tonight. I thought he was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, brilliant. Absolutely composed. He had a bit of a shaky game midweek, didn't he, against Palace? He was giving the ball away a few times.
Southampton,
sorry. But no, today absolutely solid, rock solid, brilliant. Yeah. To be fair, he was up against a physical test now, Amanda Broja, wasn't he? He could have been an absolute handful, but no, I think he dealt with him absolutely superbly. And yeah, it's. I'm trying to think of the last exciting Newcastle centre back that we signed, more so than Botman. I probably have to go back to. Sorry,
Mapu Yangarimbiya.
No, you probably have to go back to Woodgate, to be honest. I mean, because Colaccini had a mare when he first came, didn't he? But yeah, Botman, he's just so exciting, isn't he? Honestly, he's 22. The sky's the limit for this guy.
He's only 22.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Is he the best centre back in the Premier League at the moment?
We'll just turn that off in the background, even though I don't want to hear my own voice again. What would you give Botman?
He just said they're shouting the Botman's the best centre back in the Premier League right now. There's an absolute like he's definitely one of them, isn't he? He's in a it's just so exciting to have such a young top up and coming centre back at our club. And you know what? He's in such a bullet dodge that we didn't get Diego Carlos.
What would you give him today?
From Sevilla. I know he's injured and all, but I'd give him a 9. I'd give him a 9. I thought he was absolutely superb. Brilliant.
40. I want you to talk about Fabian Schär. He didn't play midweek. It was always going to be one defender with Dan Burn, Fabian Schär, Sven Botman was going to have to play just because of all the other options that we had. I thought his passing was a little bit off, but in terms of that partnership, do you think that's the best 2 Newcastle centre halves we've got at the minute together?
Yeah, of course. Like when we're always looking at our centre halves, it's always Schär alongside someone. And I know how good Botman is, don't get me wrong. But again, it's always Schär alongside Burn or Schär alongside Botman. It's one of the 2. So again, he had a bit of a shaky game today, but again, it's another clean sheet. So what can you say about that, really? So overall, I'm giving him an 8. Like, again, had Brozier in his back pocket. Didn't have to do much. Easy day.
So, Sam, why is Schär in 40's eyes? And I would say it's right because obviously you look at the numbers. Schär plays every game when fit and available. Why is he Eddie Howe's number 1 centre half in his eyes?
He just brings something different to the role, proper ball playing centre half. I was making the point to you and Harry on the way down here. You look at Koulibaly.
Oh, he was shaky as shit, wasn't he?
What does he do? He receives the ball on the edge of his 18-yard box. There's 10 yards of space in front of him, but immediately gets rid of the ball. Not interested. Doesn't want the ball at all. And the difference is with Schär, he can move the ball forward. He can ping a pass. He can do it all. So how many times did we say he could never play in a flat back 4? He can and does it majestically, especially when you got a Rolls Royce next to you. So fair play to him. He was out the door under Bruce. He's just an absolute whirlwind, and he was cheaper than Will Grigg.
But that's for the current Newcastle fans and the old Newcastle fans. Will Grigg, who's he? Yeah, fantastic. And I'll finish off with Kieran Trippier. Did get a yellow card, but I think every Newcastle fan thought, yeah, take one for the team, please. When I think it was, who was it? I think it might have been Brozier, maybe. I might be wrong on that one. I'm not 100% sure. But it was the right foul at the right time. But time wasting, getting in good positions, just little things that makes a massive difference. And look, he does have a little part of play in the goal as well.
He's just a little shit house as well. They notice that as well.
Yeah,
you need that. All top teams.
I love it though. I love it. I don't want to be liked and all the rest of it and be like everyone's second favourite team no more. I want to be a shit house and just
the dark art, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Remember back in the day, like when Newcastle was on the threat. Oh, you're right, you lot. Yeah, second favourite team and all the rest of it. I don't want to be people's second favourite team no more.
No, too nice.
Yeah,
no, not no. Wilson's
great
at that as well. Wonderful shithousery about Callum Wilson when he comes on. Going nowhere, but will buy a foul.
Yeah, I'd have to be honest. I think, look, in terms of what we get out of Kieran Trippier, not many crosses really today. Had 1 or 2 in the first half, 1 or 2 in the second. But what we have got a leader, and we just have almost like a manager on the pitch, if you like, a head coach on the pitch who just knows how to win games of football. His
football brain's worth the weight in gold. It
worth
really, especially in that last 10 minutes and the 7 minutes of stoppage time. It was just priceless.
Just on Trippier, can I speak to all the England fans in the room? Where would you have him in the? Because I'm assuming you'd have him in the starting 11 for the World Cup.
Right
where
back.
would you have him?
Right
Right back,
back.
left back? Yeah,
has to be right back. I understand that Luke Shaw's the only out and out left back in that England squad, but he's the best right back on form at the minute. Trent Alexander-Arnold isn't better than Kieran Trippier on form at the minute.
Correct.
So he starts at right back for me. Whether Gareth Southgate will do that, who knows? But
I would imagine it'd probably be Kyle Walker. I mean,
he's still not.
He's coming back from injury.
Depends what system England play as well, doesn't it? Because Southgate would also use Walker as the right-sided centre back, which is odd, but he does. So that's an option. And then Trippier could be right wing back, depending on the system we play. But I can't really see us going 5 at the back against Iran.
I can't see it against Iran, maybe in the last 16, however. But I'm going to give Kieran Trippier an 8 out of 10. Would you agree with that? Do you disagree with that? Make sure you get this video a like because Newcastle have won another game of football. Can you believe it? honestly, it's been absolutely incredible.
Champions
We've had 8 games, right? 8 games since the international break. Newcastle have picked up 22 points from that international break to now before the World Cup.
10 more points.
22 points out of 24. Only Manchester United away 0-0. That's absolutely incredible. Sam, let's move into the midfield. I want to give you Bruno Guimaraes today because he was nullified.
Hoping you'd give me Sean.
He was nullified today, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. Kovacic and Jorginho measured him up, and it was a good battle for the purists, wasn't it? I mean, Jorginho, very, very good holding midfielder. Didn't really give Bruno the time of day. What I will say is, though, the midfield won the battle and the war. Our midfield was absolutely sublime today, and Bruno was, again, a big part of that. His intelligence on the ball, he knows when he needs to make a sprint, and he knows when he can just pick a pass and split Chelsea's defensive triangle. He's just an absolute genius. He really is. There's an argument to say he was still the weakest member of the trio today in midfield, but that's more of a testament to Willock and Sean as opposed to Bruno, because Bruno didn't play badly.
I don't know about that. This is probably the worst game that I've seen Bruno play, and that says that. I know I'm being picky, but it's probably the worst performance I've seen from Bruno. Like, he was sloppy at times. And again, he still won. Don't get me wrong. So no need about the sour face. We won. But I'm just saying he wasn't at his best. Like, Bruno's levels are usually here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Today he was about there.
What do you give him, Sam?
I've been giving him a 7.
I think that's a fair mark. I do agree with Ford. I think he did lose the ball on a few occasions. But what he does do, Harry, and I think you probably picked up when you were talking to, I think you were talking to Ramsey off camera, when he takes the ball away from like the defense and just wasting a little bit of time, wins free kicks for us. And there was a couple of times where it doesn't work out, but 8 or 9 times out of 10 it does, and it just relieves that pressure a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, he's just got a brilliant football brain. I'm thinking, has his confidence been knocked a bit because he missed that penalty? I know we went through,
fuming, wasn't he?
Yeah, you see in that photo
livid
after the
Does
game.
he realise that we won the game still?
But that's the standards he sets himself.
Yeah.
So I just wonder if his confidence has maybe been knocked a bit because he didn't seem himself today. I agree with Fordy there, but he still put in a solid performance. I think
Still better than Bentaleb.
Oh, by far.
Out of pure curiosity, I'll just throw this question out the table. When was the last time we had a midfielder as good as Bruno?
Rob Lee.
Goodbye.
No.
What?
Kabay, right?
No.
Yeah.
Different league.
Kabay went to PSG and flopped. Would Bruno do the same? I don't think so.
No, we can't judge Kabay by what he did over there. I mean, Kabay here.
The only thing Kabay has on Bruno was dead ball. That's it. Everything else, Bruno is levels above Kabay. Levels above. Kabay went on to play for Crystal Palace.
So and miss a penalty. That's in James Park. So even Rob Lee, would you say Rob Lee was better than Bruno?
Well, we asked an entertainer about this today, as it goes.
Don't spoil the answer.
No, I'm not going to spoil the answer. You'll have to watch the Greenwood and Mulliner show to find out what Lee Clark said. That's the debate, Rob Lee or Bruno. Kabay doesn't come into the equation at all.
Potentially Bruno could potentially be the greatest Newcastle midfielder we've seen.
That's what I said last season.
Kabay is what I call an honourable mention, but I don't think he's in the category.
There's loads of honourable mentions.
Exactly. Harry, I want you to continue with Sean Longstaff today. A lot of Newcastle fans coming out of St James's Park, even I'll just say from the Gallagher going, Sean was good today. Sean was here. Sean was there. Should have scored, in my opinion. Probably Newcastle's biggest chance in the second half before the goal was Sean Longstaff's chance inside the box. Is he getting the credit now?
Yeah, he does deserve it. He's been solid for quite a few the past month or so, whatever. I think he's been brilliant. His work rate's been fantastic today. He was a bit sloppy on the ball in the first half. He takes a couple too many touches sometimes. Runs into trouble, you could say.
He grows into the game, though, doesn't he?
I agree. And I think in the first half, being slightly critical again, he's got to do better when he flashes one across the box, or I don't know if he should have had a shot or whatever. But yeah, I think his energy was superb, and I think he's making those runs down that right channel into the box, supporting Trippier and Almiron. I think he's probably an 8 out of 10 as well. I think impressed by him again.
8 out of 10 for Sean. Ramsey, I want you to come on this one. Do you think the only thing you would say about Sean, maybe, could he even add more goals to his overall game? Because he does get in some really good spaces at times, doesn't he?
He could do. I mean, today he should have just kept the shot down. But yeah, maybe he could do. But I think with Longstaff, because maybe I'm just speaking for myself here, but I think because his stock was, in my eyes, quite low. Towards the end of the Bruce era, I think maybe we don't give him the credit we deserve because we associate Longstaff with being that one who came through under Benitez, but then tanked and was the £50 million tag joke, shall we say? I think there was a headline in the Chronicle 2 months ago, 50 million to 10 million. We're trying to get rid of him to Everton or Southampton or whoever would have him. But I think, what he's done this season, he's come on leaps and bounds. And I think he's slowly, I hope, changing people's minds. And Longstaff, even we did the podcast maybe 2 months ago, maybe. And I think you said, Johnny, that he'd be gone in 2 years. I wouldn't be so sure now. I think he could be a fixture in the squad.
I don't think that's true. I think he's just trying to put me in a
No,
lot of shit.
no, you did say that. Whereas I've always stuck by Sean. I've always stuck by Sean.
No, I think there was always that debate,
even when he was a bit rubbish.
Yeah, there was a debate to be had at the end of towards the back end of that last season. Does he deserve a new contract for you? And he's certainly now deserving of that contract when you put performances like he has in the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, we seem like we're handing out contracts left, right, and centre now anyway, so why not give him one? No, he's improving. He's still got a long way to go. I agree with a lot of Harry's points. Just
that's so poor.
That's Rob level poor, man. Fucking hell. He's still got a long way to go in order to improve, but he has come on leaps and bounds, and it just shows obviously when you're playing more regularly. You're keeping that man out of the team. I'm just looking at Shelby on the pitch there. You're keeping him out of the team, so he must be doing well. Do you know what I'm saying? So, he's doing well.
Fair play to him. Ramsey, let's talk about the match winner, the goal machine for today and last week, Joe Willock. He has got a burst of pace as well, which I remember in the second half where he gets past Chalobah, which was really, really good as well. But talk about that finish. Why
Brilliant.
Was it so good? And it's what I call a proper finish.
Brilliant. And do you know what? It was also the selflessness from Almiron, who's when he's in that sort of form, I don't know, maybe have a go yourself, but no, to lay it off to Willock and then just.
No, he did not lay it off to him. He did not lay it off to him. I've watched it back about 3 times.
So, and what happened?
I'll tell you what happened.
Yeah.
Take the mic. He overran it in normal Almiron, previous Almiron fashion, should I say? Before you jump in there, I know he's about to jump in there. He overran it, and Willock said, "Fuck it, I'll take it," and scored. Yeah. That was how it was.
Oh, fair. Okay, fair enough.
Speaking
of which, I mean,
still an assist for the stat man.
Just briefly touching on Almiron though, because I can't dig you out as well, Johnny. Because I think on the same podcast a couple of months ago, you said that Almiron play that me on a football pitch plays like Almiron, a lot of running. But does fuck all with it, I think was the exact quote. And since then, Almiron's one player of the month. So, got you there, Johnny. But yeah, with Willock, great finish. And you know what? I love that he's back.
How long have you been desperate to say something?
Yeah. Saving it up. But I'm delighted Willock is back in the goals now because we also really under Bruce we win 7 games in a row scoring, and then under Eddie Howe that tapered off a bit. But I will say this about Willock: I think there hasn't been enough talk about him for the England squad. I genuinely think he's an outside chance.
I agree.
We are 3rd in the Premier League. He's been a fixture in the team. Like why is Southgate not even looked at him? Like I don't get it. I mean, he's got pedigree. He came from Arsenal where he was an absolute wonder kid. I don't know why he wasn't even mentioned in the conversation for the England squad.
If you're going to throw Willock into the mix, you might as well throw Dan Burn into the mix as well.
But he played Conor Gallagher off the park. Maddison's picked up an injury today. Who knows how serious that is? I think Willock's worth a look.
Yeah, I think when it comes to the position in the league, you have to take a look at it. It's the same reason 10 years ago when I thought Joey Barton should have been around the England squad. I mean, we finished 5th and he was class.
He didn't play.
No, he didn't. He played for QPR then.
He played 2
games.
Was it? Okay,
you had me at Willock and then you lost me at Joey Barton. Sorry.
Harry,
it's too far.
Oh, you're right. Actually, going to QPR. You're right. Okay.
Yeah, Danny Guthrie.
That was the one I was talking about.
Harry, I want to get your opinion on Joe Willock today. Look, it's a good finish. It's a really good finish.
Brilliant finish.
Do you think that he deserves to be man of the match today, or do you think because it is a fantastic goal and it has won us the game.
Not for me. I listen, I'm not going to criticise him because he was brilliant today. I think he worked really well with Joelinton on the left. They dovetailed each other incredibly. And at the end of the day, he's won us the game because that finishes the difference, and it was a great finish. But no, not my man of the match because I think Trippier was just superb. He was important, his leadership and his interceptions. But Willock was really impressive again. And I think maybe England is a step too far. And I know he maybe should get more attention.
Harry the hater.
Well, I've criticised Willock a fair bit this
Just
season.
a fair, yeah. I was just going to say,
let's be honest, but I'm giving him credit now. So let's talk about that.
What did you give Willock, Ramsey?
I don't think I did. 8.5. I would have given him.
8.5. 40. Let's move on to he's Brazilian. He should have been in the World Cup squad. Joelinton, £40 million winger today. Again,
I'm not too.
Was he ineffective but a nuisance? If that makes sense.
I think you summed it up perfectly there. Actually, yeah.
So he's like, off you go.
Yeah, I'm still not sold on him being an out-and-out winger, but I kind of get it in terms of he can cut in. He cuts off like their attacking threat on that side. So again, when he did against, was it Villa, didn't he? Played on the wing. Matty Cash, nothing. So again, same today. Asper Laqueta had to come off at half-time, nullified him. I always prefer Joelinton in the middle, just breaks it up, does it simple. I think when he gets on the wing, it's almost like he has to think too much. Do you know what I mean? Just in the middle, break it up, give it to a better player, give it to Bruno, and that's it. That's his job. But today, I can't really fault him, man. Like, no, he bodied, what's his name, Kovacic and all the rest of them. Jorginho, did he play today? Was he there?
Yeah,
Do we need to send out like a missing link or something like that?
He bodies everyone, doesn't he?
He does. And the fact that he's not in the Brazilian team over the likes of Fred, come on, give your head a wobble, man. But yeah.
Do you not think, sorry, Button, do you not think Joelinton playing on the left frees up Willock and improves his performance?
Yeah.
But I just think then we don't have that threat down the left-hand side because Willock, they always end up switching over anyway. Willock ends up going down the left-hand side anyway because, again, he's got pace to burn. But I just think we've got better players to play in that position. Like ASM I was crying out to have ASM.
See, I wasn't today. I wasn't crying out for ASM today.
But again, he would have just roasted Koulibaly or he would have roasted whoever's on that side where we kept just stopping and starting a bit too much where we could have just bombed on forward if we had a natural winger on that side.
I get the arguments, Sam. I suppose we'll get you in this on this as well. Do you think that what Harry said? I think it's actually a really, really good point because Joelinton does so much dog work on the left-hand side. It does free up space for Willock, and it does mean that he can have that chance to run at midfielders and potentially create opportunities.
They interchange very well. Willock does make some good runs down that left-hand side and can be quite effective. It was quite a turgid game in parts today, and the final pass really wasn't there. Both keepers didn't have much to do. The final ball was lacking a bit, but it's good. It's good, and we've done this run without St. Maximin, who was in the form of his life before the injury. We've done it without Isak, who got 2 in his first 3 games for Newcastle. It's incredible, and the credit to the players who, these are the players that we're on about that were here before the takeover, and they're absolutely smashing it now.
They really are. What would you give Joelinton today, 40?
I was actually going to give him an 8, and I would say he's my man of the match. Him and Botman joint man of the match.
8 for Joelinton. Do you agree or disagree with 40's ratings? Get it in the comments below. I've got Miguel Almiron with a half an assist before someone batters me down. Look, he didn't really have a lot of chances, but he probably had 1 or 2 of Newcastle's best chances. I remember one in the first half where he has that volley which goes over the crossbar. He does get into good spaces. I think Sam was right before. I think both teams count each other out. I do think Chelsea did realise that there was a threat from Miguel Almiron today, and they tried to make sure he was as quiet as possible. But he did get that chance where he runs into the box, and look, he literally lays it on a plate for Joe Willock, and Joe Willock does the rest. But look, really happy with Miggy since the turn of the international break, and he's thoroughly deserves Player of the Month, Goal of the Month, Legend of the Year. Everything. You can give him every award. Give him the Pride of Britain award if you want. Anything for Miguel Almiron today. I'll give him an 8 as well. I'll continue that theme for Miguel Almiron. Chris Wood was the starter. I think everyone thought, well, if Callum Wilson's in the pictures, he's going to be in the squad, he's going to be playing, and he didn't. And Chris Wood was there to do a job, and he did do a job for 75 minutes. How would you assess, Sam, his game today? Because he was out there to do a job, and he did it to a good extent.
Yeah,
as well.
he did well. He did well. I mean, strikers are always judged on goals. I chuffed for him that he scored last week.
Great finish last week.
Very important time as well. He didn't look like scoring today, but he did well. He was leading the press, an absolute treat, and credit to him for that, because he's not known for being overly pacey, mobile, or whatever. He's there as a target man, isn't he? But that was a horrific shot.
That was a Chris Wood shot.
But overall, he did play well. It's always to the team's detriment when Wilson's not playing, because he makes such a good. He's just the complete forward, isn't he, Callum Wilson?
Do you think we let him down a little bit though, because we didn't play to his strengths? Like, if you're going to play a Chris Wood, you've got to get quality balls into the box, and
but we never do.
That's
not the way we play, is it? Really? And like, you think the wingers who are probably the strongest crossers, Murphy and Ryan Fraser, who's been nowhere. Yeah. Even when he's been on the bench, he hasn't been coming on, has he, Fraser? So, yeah. But with Chris Wood, I think overall a 7's fair. He never looked like scoring, but the work and the commitment he showed, especially we were pressing and charging them down for the whole 97 minutes. and it absolute credit to the fitness levels of that team, because it was absolutely immense.
It really, really was. 7 out of 10 for Chris Wood. He did play 75 minutes. He did do a good job considering the circumstances. There's been a goal at Molineux. Arsenal have taken the lead. Martin Ødegaard has given Arsenal the lead. This is really disappointing for Newcastle's title challenge. A sentence I never thought I'd ever say. I'll keep you up to date if there's any more goals in that game down at Molineux. Not too far away from Mr. Milner, who's going to be driving past there, aren't you? Or was that just to the side of you?
No, that's slightly further south than where I'm going. But yeah, I'll be driving.
He will be. First substitution was, hey, Callum Wilson. I've got
the noise when he was got stripped and ready to go. The noise for Callum Wilson. That's incredible.
Look, he's in the England squad, Harry, and he played 15 minutes today, and he's going to be going to Qatar pretty much with full fitness, which is great news to everybody concerned.
You better come back with full fitness as well.
Yeah. Gareth. I hope so. Yeah. I hope so. I'll let you mark this one just because it's just about enough to mark him.
I was going to say a bit difficult. I'd give him a 6. I don't think it's not anything against him. He just didn't really impact the game.
A shithouse 6.
Yeah.
Exactly. He came to come on to shithouse and to waste time and to win fouls and to keep things in the corner, which he did.
How did he not get a free kick right at the very end? But was it not a foul, was it?
I mean, look, the Chelsea player was already down.
Oh, did he jump over?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry, that was a massive.
I
am now going to fall over you.
See, I didn't get the greatest view on that one. So I couldn't believe.
I was in level 7 and I saw.
Yeah, I must have been blocked. I couldn't believe it. The guy next to me was like, I couldn't believe that. But 6 for Callum Wilson. Matt Targett came on. Jacob Murphy came on, but that is definitely going to be in the non-applicable categories as well. Eddie Howe. All have like a brief minute on Eddie Howe. Ramsey, I'll let you start. What is Newcastle's manager of the month for October for the Premier League going to get for a 1-0 win over Chelsea, and even a bit of passion in the Gallagher at full time as well, just showing what it really means. And look, he probably doesn't want this World Cup to start next week, but 22 points from 24. Incredible.
Yeah, beating Chelsea 1-0. I mean, Steve Bruce to do this though, so I'd say maybe no. Honestly, the job Eddie Howe has done is absolutely. The job Eddie Howe has done is absolutely amazing. To take us from the relegation zone to 3rd in the Premier League this Christmas, it's incredible. I don't think I can remember a turnaround job so quickly in Premier League football. I don't just mean for Newcastle, I mean for any other job at all. From relegation candidates to what, title challenge? What's going on? Like,
I feel so dirty.
And you know what it is? I've got a mate back home who messaged me after the game and he said, "Oh, well done. Newcastle finished 7th this season." And I'm actually feeling a bit disgusted by him saying 7th. Newcastle, honestly, the job Eddie Howe has done is absolutely amazing. Considering he's coming off the back of a relegation with Bournemouth, where talks with Celtic didn't work out, where, you know, he wasn't being offered the top jobs. I mean, he wasn't even Newcastle first choice. He was in Unai Emery, obviously. And I don't know, like, where I didn't realize Eddie Howe was this good. The job he did take Bournemouth from League Two into the Premier League. I know a little stop off of Burnley on the way, but that was amazing. Yeah, but I didn't know he was this good. I didn't know he was getting Newcastle into the top 4 good. And you know what it is? The way it's going now, like, yeah, I wouldn't back against Newcastle for top 4. I really wouldn't. I mean, you saw us out there against Chelsea. Chelsea's supposed to be one of the big hitters. We're a better team than Chelsea. Right now, we are. They just lost 4 on the bounce. We were a 98th minute goal from Fabio Carvalho away from being the Invincibles. Like, what is this?
It's stupid. It's absolutely stupid. Harry, is Eddie Howe the best English manager right now? Because he's up against, he's up. No, but listen, the reason why I ask him, he's up against Graham Potter. Graham Potter's been.
That's what I'm saying. That's
an underarm.
No, he's given. Graham Potter's been given so many plaudits about how well he's done at Brighton, and then he's got that big move for him to Chelsea. He's up against Eddie Howe, and did Eddie Howe school him today?
Yeah, he did. I mean, I think it's difficult because although you can say Chelsea spent all that money and whatever, Potter did do a very good job at Brighton, and he's a large part of the reason they're still in top 7. I don't know exactly where they are right now, but he started well at Chelsea as well. But I think Eddie Howe, you'd have to say, is the best English manager at the minute. He's just doing absolutely mint. Like, he's taken us from bottom to top 3 in this just over a year. Unbelievable. Yeah, I've got no negative to say. Unbelievable.
40. If England come calling, how quickly does he say no?
Straight away. Just thank you. Not right now. I've got a Champions League to win. I've got a Premier League to win, and yeah, just do it again. That's it, really. Like, he doesn't need the money, clearly, because we're rich as fuck. And yeah, like, he could literally just solidify him being a legend at this club. He can then go on to be an England manager and all the rest of it later on down the line, but he's got work to do still. And by the way, Fumbi, if you're watching, I told you we're going to be Champions League football next season. I've just told you, just letting you know. Anyway.
Shout out to Fumbi, friend of the channel. Sam, Eddie Howe got the big decision right in terms of who to put towards that left-hand side, in my opinion, by putting Joe Linton there over Jacob Murphy or Alan St. Maxim, if you consider he did play against Crystal Palace on midweek. He keeps on getting the big decisions right. He did a fantastic interview with Jay Comfrey, I know, which was a few weeks ago, but it only got released on Monday. You can just show how much it means to him, training the players, coaching the players week in, week out, every single day, doing the 10 to 12-hour days to improve this Newcastle United team, and it's paying dividends.
Yeah, one of the things that stuck with me from that podcast he did with Jake Humphrey was one of his 3 non-negotiables, which was never putting yourself before the needs of the team. And the culture he's built around this side and around the club and around the community and around everything to do with Newcastle United is a lot to do with the personality of the players he's brought in. You could be the most talented, gifted footballer in the world, but if you've got the attitude of an arsehole, no thank you. And look at all that squad, that 25-man squad and beyond that. There's not a bad egg in there. They're all like everything we see on social media, like the thing like Nick Pope got Bruno for Matteo. Just great. It's just a real, and the photos after the game in the dressing room, everything. That's all down to Eddie Howe. Yeah, what else can you say? The guy's a genius, and God knows where our ceiling is now.
I'll give you my 2 pence. I'm going to give Eddie Howe a 10 out of 10 because I don't think any of them have given him a number, but I'll give him 10 out of 10 because I'm in a good mood. The good thing with Eddie Howe is that he's so detailed. I think there would have been a plan for Chelsea even before Crystal Palace. And again, it's a week when Newcastle have got 3 wins: Southampton, Palace, Chelsea, with 3 big games, really big games. And I wouldn't say it was a breeze, any of them. Maybe Southampton to an extent, but he's passed that test with flying colours today. Tactically, I thought it was a battle today against Potter's Chelsea, but we just had that moment, and that was what gave us 3 points. It was that moment, and it was that bit of magic from Joe Willock. But has it come at the worst possible time? Yes, I know I can say both arguments, but he's got another 6 weeks to coach Sven Botman, another 6 weeks to coach Dan Burn, another 6 weeks to coach Joe Willock, Sean Longstaff, Isaac can't get in the. Isaac's injured. St. Maxim can't get in the team. Shelby's fit and raring to go. There's a lot of options for Eddie Howe, and again, he has got a few players going away for international duty. But I think only Kieran Trippier and Fabian Schär are going to play every single game when available, and that just shows that he has.
Bruno should be.
Bruno should, in terms of an England point of view, I suppose. Bruno should be as well, but we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, I can't speak highly enough from Eddie Howe. He's doing an incredible job. Get in the comments of how incredible he's doing. Why is Eddie Howe the best English manager, if you agree with what Harry was saying before? And
I love you, Eddie Howe.
Yeah, it's just before we wrap things up, it's just actually really, really nice. There's so many of us. There's a couple behind the camera as well who are just smiling as well. It's just nice to see Newcastle winning games of football. We're third in the league. Briefly, last question to all of you. Just one word answer, yes or no. Start with you, Sam. Are Newcastle United in a title race?
No.
Harry?
No.
Ramsey?
Yes.
40?
Yes.
I'm going to say yes. Mental.
But I'd like to put, because what did I say to you before the game today? If we win today, I think we get top 4. I'm converted. I think we get top 4 now. Raul Coley's going to be in my WhatsApp later after he sees this. Bless him. But I think
Newcastle versus Real Madrid next season.
Can you believe it? And that is it. We have got 5.5 weeks with no first team football in terms of a competitive game. It's Bournemouth on the week commencing the 20th of December. So it is a little bit of a while, but we have got Rayo Vallecano. We have got a trip to Saudi Arabia. I know there's a couple of people making that trip. I don't know who, though. But make sure you keep
if his passport arrives in time.
Exactly. But yeah, we still have the last word to come along. Lee will be in charge of that video as well. We've also got the match reaction with me and Sam, so make sure you give that a watch as well. But yeah, from myself, Sam Milner, Harry Dawson, Michael Ramsey, and Clinton Ford. You didn't think I knew your first name, did you? We've got Carl Lee and Rob in the background as well. So from the 8 of us, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. From the 8 of us, have a lovely weekend. See you later.